There may be another round of lockdown coming this summer, but not for the reason that most would think. Many have predicted that they're going to try to run out some new variant of COVID and, of course, use that to try to influence the election in November. I think they're going to do something quite a bit more shrewd. And to be very honest, looking at the details of it, it's a genius move. But I want to let my audience know what's coming just so that you can be prepared, because a lot of people are going to be scratching their heads and wondering, man, this is a tough choice. No, I'm sure a lot of people are like, no way, no way. I'm not going along with this climate emergency stuff. They might do that this summer. They might come out and say, we're having an extremely hot summer. We're having all of these problems, and we're going to declare a climate emergency and go into a state of lockdown because of it. But there's going to be some perks. There's going to be some benefits that are going to make a lot of people change their mind. Now, real quick, as always, thank you, everyone who's joined us over the Florida Monkey Patreon channel. It's only $1 over there per month, even less per month, by the way. $1 per month. It's like 3 pennies a day. It's even less than that if you sign up for an entire year. Fully refundable for the first 90 days. No questions asked. You can go over there. There's hundreds of videos, including a brand new one we just did yesterday. Never before seen on YouTube, talking about all sorts of different things you're not allowed to talk about here anymore. Would love to have you over there. But real quick, let's get right to it. Let's get right to the meat of this. How many of you have seen this again now? This issue with Ventu Sky? We were talking about this about a month ago. And this quote-unquote wave anomaly has returned. They said it was just some glitch with the modeling. But when we went back and looked at the historical data, we saw these massive plumes firing out of Antarctica, causing these huge wave spikes. Now, there's a lot of channels out there. They believe it's a lot of different things. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Personally, the reason I think that we are seeing this is that there's being massive amounts of fresh water being released because of the heat in Antarctica, but it's being released so deep and so far below the glaciers that it's coming in underneath the heavier, denser salt water. And it's rolling along the bottom, and then eventually it's pushing the water above it up. It's being held in a bubble until it gets to a certain point away from Antarctica, and then it pushes up the sea temporarily. And as you can see here, this is from 25 April at, let's see where we at here, 2 p.m. in the afternoon. This is 5 p.m. And this is by 8 p.m. You can see it dissipates. We'll go back a little bit and show you how it starts. You see how it starts as just this triangular area right here that they detect higher wave heights. Very, very high in the beginning, 83 feet. And then they stay high, but they kind of dissipate out and go down farther. Now, Into Thin Air has a video on this, talking about this. He has a theory about an island down there. I believe the name of that island is actually Govt Island. And there's really nothing on it. I'm not sure what you could take from it. But here's an interesting blurb about this, having to do with this lockdown. Message from Airbnb. Expect governments restricting travel after 6 June 2024. Now, this was sent out 10 April. Now, why would they do this? This happened right after that last blurb, by the way. The reason I brought this up, that last blurb of water, the last blob of water that came out of Antarctica, they released this only days later after that. Now, I thought for a long time what the president was going to do was, for the sake of humane reasons, he was going to, and to save money, by the way, start releasing lots and lots and lots of prisoners. Now, they've done this, but not to the extent so far. I think this is going to go to the definition of what you call an offender. And it may not be something where it's just the prisons. Now, imagine a major heat wave would hit. and they want to declare a climate emergency because of a heat wave. And we have all these folks that are out living on the streets, living in tent cities, and they can't deal with it. What if they started sending U.S. Marshals into cities and saying, okay, look, we don't have time to build shelters, but we know in this city there are 5,000 empty houses. And all we've got to do is go in and flip the switch, and they've got power. They've got shelter to get out of the sun, and we can climate control it to an extent. Call power company, turn it on, turn the ceiling fans on, turn the air conditioning on, and we can, boom, get these people off the street because of the climate emergency. You see, they wouldn't be squatters anymore. They wouldn't be doing it of their own volition. They'd be doing it with the blessing of the government because of the climate emergency. Instead of having to build all of these shelters and then, more importantly, transport all of the people from wherever they are to these huge, massive shelters, why not just create shelters in place in abandoned homes and businesses all across the country that we know are already there? How many remember this was some years ago? Major 7.7 magnitude earthquake hit off the coast of Florida. Now, at that time, people were wondering, what's going to happen? What would we do? Middle of summer, major tsunami, lose power. Down here, it would be deadly. It would absolutely be a deadly event in the sense of not just the wave and not just the earthquake, but then the ensuing lack of air conditioning. And for some of you out there, here would be the kicker. What if they said we're going to put everything on lockdown and we're going to declare a moratorium on electric bills? A lot of people are like, wait a minute now, what's Biden going to do? What if he came out and said, okay, nobody can be disconnected. Nobody, pardon me, I don't know what that was. Nobody can be disconnected for the next 9 months, a year, because of this climate emergency, whether you have the ability to pay or not. You have to have certain services in certain areas. Therefore, you cannot turn down or turn off anybody's power. See, there'd be a lot of folks, especially here in Florida, that would make Biden a very popular man, because it gets that bill that I just showed for $500. That's actually a small one. There's people every year that in the summertime are paying $700, $800, $900 for just a house. There's a lot of folks down here that made the mistake of getting 2 stories. And this would be a shrewd move. It would endear him to a lot of people who are having money problems. It would endear him to a lot of people who need a place to stay, to the whole, the green community, the climate community. I'm just saying, he might be just biding his time and waiting for the right moment. Say, okay, and then we're going to use, we're going to turn the police into your friends. We're going to have them, all those rich people, the ones that have all these empty houses they're not letting you live in for free. Well, we're going to go make them open these places up. And they're going to be, cooling shelters. Because there's just not going to be enough of them. And once again, it'll be all under the guise of climate emergency. A form of lockdown, so to speak. I think this is going to be some version of this is what's coming. So anyway, you can go out and check out Ventu Sky. If you want to go back and look at the original event, I believe it was the 9th. You have to find the exact right time of day, too. I found this out. 9th. There it is. At 8 p.m. It was in the evening when this happened. And then you can go back in February and find the same thing. And watch this thing absolutely explode. And this thing stuck around for a long time, too. This thing stuck around for like 24 hours. But as of right now, whatever it was has dissipated. But it was there yesterday, starting at about 8 a.m. and running through till about 11 p.m. So I will leave it there. But once again, God bless y'all. Thank you so much for supporting us over there, Patreon. Very, very much appreciate it. Pray for each other. Pray for me. I'll pray for you. Lift each other up. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.